I'm going to 300% Cult of the Lamb by not only 100%ing the base game's achievements, but also the DLC for Relics of the Old Faith and Sins of the Flesh. Here I am, a powerless lamb, the last of my kind to be sacrificed to stop the prophecy. This isn't heaven. Where am I? And who's this monster in chains? I will give you life again. All I ask is for you to start a cult in my name.
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Absolutely, I do.
Hello, boys. I'm back.
He's got a sword! Hey, you idiots! We've all got swords!
Yeah, but you guys can't do a sick dodge roll like me. I'm not dying today. My beginning strategy is to only swipe once, then dash away. During my escape, I came across another poor innocent animal who was about to be sacrificed as well. I eliminate their executors, then free them from bondage. Come, little one, join my cult. Here we shall start a new life for both of us. By the way, this guy here is Ratau, my tutorial guide. He teaches me how to name my followers, how to put them to work, how to build a cooking fire, how to cook, you know, all that Cult 101 stuff. But I would like some more followers. So I head north into the Dark Wood, where I slay any who oppose me, which also nets me with gold for clearing each room. There's also this triangular duck who will give me the choice between 2 tarot cards that will aid me in my current crusade until I die. And I'm gonna need it, because at the end of the road, Bishop Leshy confronts me and transforms one of his own into a mini-boss. Initially, I stuck with my old adage of striking once, then rolling away to keep myself safe. As the monster spawned its offspring to go after me again and again, I realized there was a better way. I could pull off 2 hits with the sword before fleeing. The battle didn't even last a minute, and I freed the enslaved. Bishop Leshy's believer now belonged to me. However, that was the end of my journey for now, since I couldn't open the gate yet. That's okay, because I need to name my new recruit after my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon starter. Welcome, Bulbasaur! Now get to work! Together we construct a shrine made in my image, giving my people a way to worship me. Oh yeah, and there's Butterfree. Ratau randomly gave him to me. Anyhow, their devotion gives me divine inspiration, which unlocks new structures for my cult. Like this temple. Inside, I can preach a sermon once a day to my people to keep their faith strong in me and draw power from them, which unlocked even more stuff such as half a heart. Ratau states that if I want to go even further, I must declare doctrines from commandment stone fragments. So back to Darkwood I go. This time I'm presented with an axe rather than a sword.
My axe.
And Ratau, who by the way was a vessel for the one who waits before me, bestows unto me a curse, granting a projectile for my use. It has limited ammo, so I stick with the axe mostly, which strikes slower but inflicts more damage. Shortly after, I come across a mantis shrimp selling food. But since I have the attention span of a child, I smack his big snail pet. Upon striking it a second time, the stomatopod warns me. I hit it again, and it's really getting on his nerves. Swing number 4 causes him to lose it, busting out a fork, swearing to kill me with it. I've seen what the shopkeeper from Link's Awakening can do, so I better get out of here. Hey Torchic, a mantis shrimp is trying to kill me. Wanna join my cult? Oh, and here's the fragments to the commandments Ratau was talking about. So I better finish up this run to teach my cult. Lucky for me, I've played Enter the Gungeon, so I know how to get past this barrage of bullets. I'll slice you up with this new sword I found and finish you off with a shot from my curse. Don't fear, Charmander, you're safe with me. Now, to preach my commandment, who crapped in my yard?
You're sick, you know that?
Anyways, I present to you the 10 Commandments. Hey, weren't there supposed to be 15? About that.
The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 15. Wait. 10 commandments!
I teach them the ways of a bonfire ritual. Before we dance the night away, I need bones from my enemies. But in the meantime, I name my cult Pal World and craft sleeping bags for my Pokemon. Here I come again, Darkwood, this time with a fast-swinging dagger and tentacles as my new curse, which is great for use when I'm surrounded. I swapped it later for a Hounding Fate that shot homing projectiles. As I delved deeper into the Darkwood, I encounter new forms of opposition, and of course, another mini-boss. I actually think this was the easiest of the 3 enemy I faced so far, because all of its attacks were telegraphed well ahead before getting to me, resulting in an effortless win. Subsequently, the one who waits summons me to empower me with the ability to read the minds of my followers. Now I can really know what they think of my cult. I see Charmander is hungry, so I feed everyone, clean up their waste. And what do you mean Butterfree wants to taste vomit? I need some normal people. Squirtle and Larvitar, get in here. Let's be a happy family on a farm and Bulbasaur! Did I just catch you pooping?
You did! You pooped!
That's it! Everyone inside where I can see ya! Let's have that bonfire I promised. A totally normal bonfire that's not creepy at all. After that, I learned how to increase the loyalty of my servants by blessing them and giving gifts, if you can even call them that. Squirtle is forced to work because he can't sleep now.
Day is never finished. Master got me working. Someday Master set me free.
Dude, shut up, Cartman!
Meanwhile, Rattao invites me to his home for a night of leisure to play Knucklebones, a dice game that unlocks new tarot cards. The next morning, enough devotion had been worshipped to upgrade both the shrine and temple. With my followers provided for, I slunk back into Darkwood, reaching the end for a fourth time, finally unlocking the gate that's been stopping my progress. Bishop Leshy awaited my arrival. His believers stabbed themselves, transferring their power to morph their master into the first real boss. He immediately spawns minions to his side, which I disposed of to make the room less messy to battle in. Fortunately, similar to the last mini-boss, I can see Leshy's attacks coming from a mile away. I could see where his venom was landing, and I knew when to stop attacking him just before he lifted his head. When push came to shove, I could just roll through his spikes. It was pretty much rinse and repeat from there as I successfully went in for the kill, defeating the first of the 4 bishops. Like a phantom thief, I swoop in to steal the heart before making my way home. The Pal World cult celebrates my victory, but my long absence has left them hungry and the place unsanitized. Our new friend Scorbunny is horrified by the sight of it. And stop fighting! You have anything to say for yourself, Larvitar? Rumor has it that Butterfree is a spy. What are you talking about? His thoughts are as clean as the Pope's. Forget you, I need wood to build. Before searching, I use Leshy's heart to gain a diseased tart, then head over to a new area called Pilgrim's Passage, where thankfully they have trees I can chop for wood. I stick around though to check out the lighthouse that coincidentally had no fire to provide light. I provide them with the wood I just obtained, light up a fire, and just as I was second guessing, thinking it wasn't worth it, they covenant to pray to me as their master. Not a bad deal for only 15 logs. Also, there's a fishing minigame here. Because every game needs to have a fishing minigame these days, I trade my catches to this... Wait a minute. Is that a fish catching a fish?
Cannibal!
Who cares? You gave me 4 of these red thingies, and so did this random wolf. But it's not wood, and that is disgusting. Here's to hoping the new area called Anura has some trees. It at least starts off with 2 new weapons, those being a Divine Blast and a Gauntlet. The latter starts off weak, but ends with a powerful combo. Each attack also flinches my opponents, which helps to land the combo. But of course, right after I say that, I meet these skeleton warriors that are impervious to being flinched, using my naivety to their advantage. I soon wised up and eliminated them. Oh yeah, and I'm personally not a big fan of Divine Blast either. Speaking of those that aren't big fans, Bishop Hecate sure isn't fond of me, especially after what I did to Leshy. This monster summons my Butterfree to cast starvation upon them right in front of me. You just made this personal, so I'm gonna do more than just starve your first mini-boss lackey. Or at least I tried. I was so worked up going in for the kill, and I would have died sooner if it weren't for my claw. Every strike with it would bounce me back a bit, keeping me away from the bullets. But in the end, I got way too reckless and experienced my first loss. Since I am the current chosen vessel of the one who waits, I am revived momentarily back at my base. What is going on with the lack of faith? Everyone, in the temple now! Believe in me! They're still pissed. And Torchic is apostatizing. My faith is shaken. I can see through your lies. You are a fraud, and I must tell the others. And so she did. Our new member Grookey fell for her lies right away. Hopefully some divine inspiration can help me. Ah, prison. Perfect. Let this be a reminder to you all. Benevolent leader, please don't judge me, but I've always wanted to eat a meal made of poop. Larvitar, now is really not the time.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Now that the Colt's temporal needs have been taken care of, I rematched the dumb toad with a lot more patience. The results were astounding, with me defeating them without taking a single bit of damage. For some reason, I was still sent to the afterlife though. It was only temporary, to receive the ability to sacrifice from the one who waits. I was going to execute Grookey, but he ran away right when I got home, and he stole some of my money. Torchic wasn't so lucky. I then tried performing a ritual to celebrate Poochyana's undying servitude, but I think I accidentally sent him to heaven.
I thought this was the anti-gravity gun.
Gosh dang it! He was my most loyal follower. All right, Tangela, you're replacing Poochyana. I hope you like the improved shelters we just upgraded.
Here. Now you're the shocker.
Oh, you don't? Well, into the brig it is for you then. On my way back to Anura, Helob the spider introduces himself and offers to sell his webbed prisoner to me. Sorry, bub, I don't got the money.
Don't leave me!
This guy, though, is giving away relics for free. They essentially fill my third weapon slot with a move that takes time to charge between uses. Later, I got one that healed me, and another that spread poison. Oh yeah, and I'm already at the next mini-boss too. This chubby flying bat likes to spit up flies, and spread easily dodgeable bullets on the field. I wrapped up the match with a few fervor shots, then welcomed Froakie to the clan. While getting the place ready for him, I got sick of all this crap. Charmander, refine my wood and ore into planks and blocks, so we can finally build an outhouse here. Please use it, people. I'll check out Spore Grotto in the meantime to give you all privacy. Over here are a couple shops and an ant that's addicted to mushrooms. I had gathered quite a few mushrooms myself from the last expedition, so I thought, why not? I'll continue to enable his addiction. Tangela the Dissenter, though, needed re-education, and I can't believe it actually worked. My tangly friend has re-entered the fold. That got me in such a good mood that I decided to free Helob's current prisoner. However, you're not perfect the way you are. You are meant to be a cow called Milk Tank. Now go find your sausage nipples. I'll lob some gunk I found and do my best to exterminate these chubby, annoying bats. My axe would leave me wide open if I missed one of them. The Gauntlet's combo method was much better versus them, but Bishop Hecate saw how well I was doing with it and responded by casting a famine amongst my people. To make matters worse, I was facing her third gate guardian with only one heart remaining. I kept my distance to snipe with projectiles whenever I could, and the gauntlets did an excellent job of bouncing me back if I got in too close. However, surviving was my top priority, meaning I had to retreat often, but I started to get greedy towards the end because I just really wanted this fight to be over with, and thankfully I wasn't going to have to do it again. Now to handle the famine. I kept learning new doctrines as the game progressed, and the next one was just what I needed, a ritual fast. My fellow Pokemon, learn the law of the fast. Ye shan't not eat for the next 3 days. Perfect. The gauge is locked in place. Just because you joined late, Fennekin, doesn't mean you don't participate. Bulbasaur died of old age. Maybe now wasn't the best time to make him go hungry. It's a good thing we still got recruits coming in from my last adventure like Combee and another from Helob, who I named Lechonk. But what do I do with Bulbasaur's corpse? Prepare for burial or harvest their meat?
Why is this decision so hard?
What? Ah, come on, Combee. Don't be afraid of me. I saved on burial costs and we got some meat out of it. I only have 2 more days of the fast, so I better get a move on to take advantage of it. And man, was I choking. I was choking bad. I honestly don't know why I was playing so bad. Maybe I felt rushed. I don't know. This was also the run where I was going up against Bishop Hecate. I was mentally not ready for this giant amphibian. I'd already lost in my head. I was discouraged and not in the groove. I lost with the tongue smacked to my face. Fortunately, my Colt was still in the green, so I rushed back into Anura and kept hold of 3.5 of my hearts for this attempt. Make that 3. I'm getting distracted and I'm down to 2.5 now. I'm gonna lose again if I keep staying in one spot. I gotta get a quick few jabs in, then freaking run from the scene. Sometimes I would have to forego my attacks because there were just too many enemies in the vicinity, but patience is the key to these types of games, and the opportunities do come. My relic was also a great tool to get rid of the flies, and once Hecate's HP had about about a third remaining, she dipped out until I was able to take down 2 miniature versions of herself. Only half a life was lost from that bout. But more importantly, I had found my groove again, hanging out on the outskirts and sneaking my way in to stab Hecate as much as I could until I won. Another heart of the heretic stolen, and the mighty Waylord also joins our tribe, who immediately is dissenting. Thank you, Giraffe-Rig, for not being that way. In fact, I have enough followers to open the last remaining 2 areas. Anchor deep, here I come. Oh gosh, look at the size of this hammer. These uber slow swings are going to get me killed. The enemy minions chuck bombs now, and Bishop Calamar takes after Hecate by continuing to bother my Pokemon. He inflicts Tangela with the most treacherous disease of all, the trait of being a germaphobe. Don't worry, Tangela. I made it to Calamar's first commander with quite a bit of health. With enough hearts to take a few hits, I just went in for the bonks. Now, to the healing bay. You'll be cured in no time, my dear friend.
I'm a recovering germaphobe. 10 years.
Ah, Cufant, you arrived just in time for my latest ritual, brainwashing, with a side of mushrooms.
Everyone's getting brainwashed. I'm getting brainwashed right now.
Similar to the fast, my cult's faith won't waver for 3 days, so I rush back into Anchor Deep to face new bad guys, harvest new resources such as crystal shards, and even more new baddies, including a wizard that can summon more villains. In the future, I got rid of those magicians right away and encountered another species that could multiply as well. Ah, come on, Calamar, not again. I can't handle all these germaphobes. Where's a Pokemon Center when you need one? And man, am I running into a lot of new creatures during this crusade. The next mini-boss was Breeze, though. It spawned tons of its offspring, but I just launched them back at him. Not to mention, having Poison Claws sure was nice, too. Ah, freak! Everyone is starving and crap is everywhere! Oh, wonderful. Butterfree is dead. And Charmander, too. It's about time my people clean up after themselves with a janitor station. And I built a crypt for the dead bodies to avoid losing any loyalty as well. Also say hello to Cloyster and Sneasel. I then finished repairing the lighthouse with the crystals I found on my last quest. And when I came back, Larvitar was dead, as was Scorbunny too. That's enough morgue work for one day. I went back into the fray to try out a new life-stealing dagger and a new golden fleece that I got for putting together 4 pieces of a holy talisman. It increases my damage output for every kill but resets once I get hit. Also, all the incoming damage is doubled. I spoke to Clawneck as I usually do to attain tarot cards, but this time he spoke of a clue that led me behind the lighthouse to retrieve his lost shoe relic. You wear Crocs?
What's wrong with Crocs?
He must have gotten them from this new smuggler location. Only thing I do here for now is tickle this fish that supposedly somehow ate Kudai's fingernail relic. Shortly after burying the dead body of Tangela, I learned that I could marry my followers. I don't even have to think about who to choose as my bride.
Andrew, don't you think you're taking this Pokemon thing a little too serious?
I'm so excited to be a newlywed. I don't even care about these crusades or beating up Bishop Calamar's goons. I just gotta get home to my wife. Don't worry, I won't forget about the others, but I think I'm gonna stop introducing every single one of these new guys. And I'm just blowing through these mini-bosses. My footwork dodging their attacks has been impeccable, and my focus was unmatched. That is, until I got to Bishop Calamar. This dude's got 4 weapons just for himself. The staff summons minions, the orb fires bullets, the sword and dagger, well, their sword and dagger. Then I died. Twice, actually. I needed to be more patient. Or I could just tell my followers to put together a demonic summoning circle for me. What for? Well, to convert my Pokemon into demons, of course. Goldeen and Lechonk, let's do this. And let's change fleeces too while we're at it. However, even with these 2 new methods of assistance, it really did come down to a lot of waiting and dodging. My little buddies would occasionally attack as well, which was nice. But my evasion skills were atrocious this match, except they weren't as bad as the first 2 attempts. I was staying alive long enough and attacked when I could, even with all the chaos building up on screen. At the end, I saw Calamar was low on HP, so I turned my brain off and just went in, almost blowing the battle, but I still managed to win. I take Calamar's heart back to the temple and begin a series of upgrades, starting with the new ability that resurrects me once per run in exchange for one of my followers' lives. Then my worshippers are notified that I can use their sins that can be generated from certain activities like dancing in the nude. My wife Lopunny was the most beautiful dancer of them all, but that merry attitude corrupted her with sin. Don't worry, I was there to withdraw it from her. I still had enough stone fragments to learn yet another doctrine, that being the power to resurrect dead followers. Welcome back, Larvitar. Only one more area remains to free the one who waits, Silk Cradle. As you could have probably guessed from the name and look of the place, there are a lot of spiders here. Per tradition, the fourth and last bishop decides to have a word with me. Shamura then brings forth my Combi. Leader, I'm sorry. Ah! What? Combi, what's going on? Come on, man, snap out of it! You'll pay for this, Shamura. When I find you, I'm gonna tear you apart. Okay, who's the flamboyant worm? Darling, you look so drab. If that's how you dress, how ugly are your followers? Okay, rude. I'll just go harvest these beets.
Bears. Beats. Battlestar Galactica.
The first roadblock at the end of Silk Cradle stays on theme with the spider mini-boss. Compared to what I just went through versus Calamar, this was a cakewalk. With there only being a few enemies at a time here, the bullets are nowhere near as hard to dodge. And this arachnid signals to me where they're gonna land. It's like it wants me to kill it. More Pokemon are brought into the fold, older ones pass away, and some come back to life. New hazards are introduced after re-entering Silk Cradle, such as these laser gates, and a big fat swinging axe that doesn't adhere to the rules of friendly fire. The second mini-boss in this zone was a millipede that was definitely trickier than its former ally with a multitude of spiders and poison ooze spread all over the floor, but I played it just right. Afterwards, I headed over to the new location, Midas's Cave. If you've ever read even one of the many myths about Midas, you know he's not the most trusted man. I give him my gold anyway, to which he responds saying I don't know how to negotiate, then informs me that if I want to use his well full of gold, I'll need 350 coins. Oh, followers, I've decided all of your tithing is due today.
Money, please. I'll just destroy this office.
Oh, hey!
Money, please.
With 350 gold collected, I give my offering to the gods of gold. Come back in 3 days. Let's see how much I can get done within that time. I remodeled a kitchen back in our quarters so my people could cook for themselves. I called Butterfree to serve a mission to gather resources. Then for my first time on a crusade, I started with a gun. Unfortunately, right after my amazing discovery, Shamura curses not one, but 2 of my Pokemon to turn against me. I didn't know I was gonna have to put Squirtle and Vulpix out of their misery like a dog infected with rabies.
I'll do it.
I'm sorry, little ones. Side note, I love this gun and all, but the sucky thing about it is it doesn't flinch any creatures. You'd think it would after getting shotgunned in the face. Anywho, my wife Lopunny is dissenting against the faith. She probably got the wrong message when I put in that brand new kitchen. So I bonk yet another mini-boss with a hammer, then head straight home to put her in jail. Sorry, babe. You've left me no choice. After a wonderful second honeymoon, Midas's Well gave me a return of 488 coins. Infinite money glitch, baby. I'm gonna keep doing this. It kept getting better because shortly after I unlocked godly weapons, which are more on the rare side but deal significantly more damage than any other types of weapons. Before I knew it, I had already found Shamura's quarters, who transformed into a gargantuan spider, beginning the last bishop boss. Shamura starts things off with an aerial bomb raid, then similar to their smaller kind, Shamura webs off screen and comes back slamming me. No way was I gonna fall for that again. Well, if I can even survive long enough to see it again, why am I tripping up so bad? This doesn't look that difficult. Oh, there they go again. Come at me, bro. I totally got this. Shamura hardly summons any help, but I can sidestep these bullets no problem. I just need a few more hits. No, no, no. I should have won. Oh yeah, I forgot I learned this technique a while back. Caterpie, don't be afraid, my child. Your sacrifice will revive me with 2 hearts, which is more than enough for me to slay this oversized insect. It's over. The one who waits shall be freed. But first, I'm going to enhance my crown with a heart one last time, upgrade my summoning circle to summon 3 demons at a time, and holy crap, who did this?
That is one big pile of
Never mind. Let's go straight to the gateway that holds the one who remains. I ascend to the high heavens of what must be hell, and the selection of weapons here is foreshadowing this isn't going to be a peaceful transfer of power. Yup, sure isn't. He wants me to be the final sacrifice combined with the lives of my 20 living Pokemon. This crown was a gift from the one who waits. It's what has given me all this power. But I refuse to kneel to anyone! I built this empire! Master, allow me. I will give this wretch a taste of your wrath. Oh, that's cute. You're gonna have your servants fight for you? You're a pathetic cult leader. The Guardian Bale casts a chain reaction spell across the ground, then summons the 2 weakest minions this game has to offer. With my destructive shotgun, dodge rolls, and 3 small demons by my side, Bale and his goons didn't stand a chance. A few more close-up shots from me was game over for him. I will take care of this beast, Master. I will cut the crown from its head. Aim had a strong start against me simply because I didn't know what to expect. Once I figured out he had to rest after each barrage of his attacks, the rest went like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Dodge, 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 wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Kind of a lackluster penultimate final boss if I'm gonna be honest with you all. You think yourself victorious? You think yourself safe? Do not forget you belong to me. Here it is, the final fight, the opportunity to seize my freedom. This is gonna be a toughie. Wait, is he summoning the same pathetic minions and using the same attacks as his predecessor? Maybe I spoke too soon. For him, not me. I can't believe how easy this has been so far. Like, look how slow his windmill of bullets is moving. This can't be the end, right? There's gotta be more. Did you believe me defeated? Did you think that to be all there was to a being such as I? He's going to crucify my followers. I must save them. Ah, okay. I get it. You got your eyes on me and they're gonna chase me underground. I can't do this charade anymore. This has got to be one of the smoothest first attempts I've had during a final boss in my entire life. There's nothing unique about his attacks, and frankly, the bishops put up much more of a challenge than the one who waits. I guess it makes sense how they sealed him away in the first place. After one more section of rolling through hazards, I obliterated his last eye and shot him point blank to finish him off. The backstabbing villain shrinks down to the size of a mere mortal, to which I am then presented with the option to spare or murder him. Well, I kill him, of course. If I spared him, he could later rise up and overtake me like I just did to him. Plus, I got a trophy. That's a happy ending for the Power World cult, but there are still a bevy of achievements to do, along with the additional story included in the DLC. Speaking of which, who dis?
Speak English, please.
They call me the newly anointed god and say I must revive the bishops so they can relive their agonies. So I gotta go through all the areas again? I'll be just a moment. I got a lot on my to-do list completion-wise. There's 15 tarot cards left, so I headed to the Smuggler's Sanctuary to buy whatever cards they had there. Then I went to Spore Grotto afterwards to do the same thing, and the selection at Midas's Cave too, which brought the total remaining to 5. That's nothing though. Little did I know securing every follower form was a task that would haunt me until the end of my playthrough. Meanwhile, I celebrate Larvitar's accomplishment of becoming my first ever level 10 loyal follower. When a Pokemon reaches this status, I can perform a ritual turning them into a disciple. Why? Because they get a cool little halo. Yes, Lamb, I'm honored to be your first disciple. Before I came here, I was always scared. I had no friends or family. All I could do was hide, but then you found me. And now, well, I couldn't be happier. I will be your loyal disciple always. Oh, Larvitar, how do I say this? I'll just thank you for your service. What? I needed a level 10 follower to reopen Silk Cradle.
No resurrections this time.
The worst part about it was it didn't count as a sacrifice, and I need 10 of them for an achievement. I better start getting going on them now, since there's a cooldown for the ritual to be done again. Bye, Ting Lu. You were old anyways. I passed the time by catching a crab for a follower form, sneaking into Midas's gold for another, and cooked up a bunch of poop bowls to attain a poop animal form. Garbodor is a perfect name for you. Huh. I wonder why everybody is feeling sick. I reopen the Darkwood corridor by sacrificing Magikarp, then give that random wolf from way long ago my Rockruff to eat in exchange for a talisman piece. Dang, now you're asking for 2 followers? I have no choice. Bye, Shaman and Rufflet. Huh, I wonder why my coat is shrinking. No! Lopunny! My first beloved wife! Death came too soon for you. I love you. No, why? No! I continue living my totally normal life by doing the totally normal thing of killing a squirrel for a skin. Then Midas takes advantage of me in my weak state and steals my money. The crusade got worse when for some reason the game randomly decreased my dodge distance, which I totally blame as the reason why I lost to the first rematch against a mini-boss. I go to my friend the wolf because he's the only one that understands what I'm going through, and he says I'll feel much better if I hand Ratau over to him. Nobody likes tutorials anyways, so I didn't see it as much of a loss. See ya! Aw, he gave me the wolf form. I feel a lot better now. In fact, I'm gonna use my latest talisman to unlock the fleece of the Berserker. Oh, and I sacrificed one of my buddies named Spinnerack. Sozo also asked me to build this statue a long time ago, and I'm just now getting around to it. Then for whatever reason, even after Midas bullied me just a minute ago, I agreed to perma-sacrifice 4 of my followers to him that he turned into gold. That was Krabby, second was Cubchoo, third was Staryu, and the 4th was Pidgey. Another talisman, let's go! I just realized I never showed off the fleece of the Berserker, which boosts my strength 10 times, but I only get half a heart. The annoying bats and uber slow hammer gave me a quick death. I'll give it another try later. In the meantime, I check off some easy achievements like finally cooking the follower meat I harvested long ago into a meal, and I started listening to confessions from my people. It's actually a great way to build loyalty fast. Now you may be concerned with how I've been doing since Lopunny passed away. Well, my concubine Gardevoir has been keeping me company. However, she's old now. It's time for me to move on. From that sermon, I gained the ability to use my weapons in a long-range style. For instance, I can throw the axe, which is awesome, especially when wearing the Berserker garb. I still lost though. I preached another sermon right after that, fully maxing out the mastery skill tree, then headed right back into Darkwood to visit the Mantis Shrimp and Slug couple. With my newfound power, I angered the shopkeeper once again, but this time I wasn't gonna chicken out. I hurled my axe while keeping a safe distance, and the second strike was all that was needed to best the angry fella. With fear in his eyes, he hands over the blueprint to the massive monster shrine. The following night, I offer a prayer unto it to acquire another follower form, sacrifice one of my newbies Rapidash, then offer up shells that I've gathered throughout my journey at 5 different locations, netting me the snail skin. There's been a lot of death in my cult recently, so how about I promote Squirtle to a disciple? Nay, the first of my 12 apostles. Now back to the Crusades where I nab a tarot card, and after quite a few deaths on my part, I finally get to and beat a mini boss with the Berserker Fleece. I want to get better with it because this damage output is what I'm gonna need for an upcoming challenge. For now, since I'm technically in the post game, the rematches rewarded me with God Tears. I'll show what those are used for later. Lechonk needs to be sacrificed first. While farming, I received yet another follower form. Then Pinsir had the audacity to ask if I would marry them. Heck no! Look at what's on your head! Alright, I know I just said I need practice with the Berserker Fleece, but I want to use the additional blue hearts I get for each sermon now since there are no masteries to learn. I really need the extra power when it comes time to face the bishops. However, going in against the mini-bosses is just so easy now I don't want to waste my time dying over and over. Butterfree is anointed as my second official apostle. Then a mysterious path appears on my next adventure. In exchange for a heart, the secret room gives unto me a piece of lore. Great! More collectibles to find for completion. I'm still working on sacrifices. Come on, boys, let's slay the next giant. During that crusade, I dig up lore from a grave, then fight this non-stop hopping mini-boss for a 3rd time who also won't slow down on all the bullets they keep shooting. That's why I'm on my 3rd attempt. A small arena combined with mayhem is not my cup of tea. I was so determined to not battle this guy a 4th time that I sacrificed a level 5 Rhyhorn to come back to life with 4.5 5 hearts. Maybe that was a waste of a loyal follower, but I needed the insurance to secure the win for my own sanity. With the mini-bosses of Darkwood slain, I sacrifice Beedrill, then get right back into the action versus Bishop Leshy. And I gotta be honest, this was way easier than the previous mini-boss. As far as I can tell, the only thing different the post-game added were the spike hazards. Leshy is shrunk down to human size and actually becomes a part of my cult, along with dropping 3 god tiers. He does have only one minor complaint, that being the one who waits tore his eye out back in the day, and he would like me to retrieve it. However, the mystic being interrupts me on my way back to inform me they have noticed my success and feel the presence of my god tiers. They also request me to grant them a name. I think Giratina fits your presence. The renegade Pokemon now accepts any god tiers I have on hand. For each one I give to them, Giratina spins a roulette, which results in one of 4 things: commandment stones, follower forms, pieces of a talisman, or special jewelry that are purely just for looks, or give insane traits like immortality to a worshiper. Of course, I'm not gonna waste such a valuable on someone like Rattata, but these disciple shrines that give temporary crusade bonuses from the devotion of disciples are well worth it. So that necklace is going on an apostle like Froakie. Now again into Darkwood, I pick up Leshy's eye, which happens to also be a relic. Then I break to pieces the next statue of him I see. This reveals a portal that takes me right to a copy of the boss battle that I can replay as much as I like. Now, why in the world would I want to do this? Well, there are achievements for defeating each of the 4 bishops without taking damage. As you can see, I failed to do so here. That's why I need the Fleece of the Berserker. Might as well have 10 times the power if the challenge essentially only allows 1 life. I got lucky on my very next run too, because I came across a relic that made me tiny, which made avoiding the baddies a heck of a lot easier. I don't think I ever got this buff again, but you can see how much of a difference it made considering survival skills are the #1 thing that matters during a trial like this. The damage output is just insane too. 1 down, 3 to go. There's a lot of padding in between each of them because I can't go straight to the boss of the next area because I have to take down 3 mini bosses from each sect first. I'm at the point where I'm constantly receiving extra blue hearts from my sermons, my disciples, and other sources from the Crusades that these fights don't take as much effort to beat them like it did back in Darkwood. One thing to briefly mention about these reruns are additional witness mini-boss encounters that appear mid-crusade that drop an eye of a witness after they are slain. These are exchanged for talismans to a guy named Plimbo at Smuggler's Sanctuary. Giratina also opens up Purgatory. We'll get into both of those at a later time. I complete the 10th sacrifice with the life of Sandile and resurrect Lechonk to be ordained to apostleship. Ratu, the brother of Rattao, then confronts me. Hey man, I'm really sorry about your brother. Please don't hurt me. Oh, you're just offering a challenge to pass the next rooms without curses? Forget I mentioned your brother. I'm sure he's fine. And I clear out enemies without relics all the time. Thanks for the new tarot card. That concludes this run as I finish by slaying Hecate's evildoer. Promote Waylord to a disciple shortly after, get right back into the fray, quietly killing another one of Hecate's servants, then get the opportunity to take on the beast herself, and I almost won without taking damage. Oh well, at least I get her as a follower, but she does have trouble speaking due to not having a throat. Here it is, I found it. Better yet, on my next try with the Berserker Fleece equipped, I beat Hecate in only 11 seconds. Girl didn't even have a chance to lay one on me. Hold up, what's going on? How is she still alive? Turns out it was an in-game bug. Well, I ain't risking it, so hasta la vista. On to Anchor Deep. You should have never pissed me off with that marriage proposal, Pincer. Learn to read a hint. Oh, Midas again, bro. Why? How come I can't stick up for myself to a puny little greedy starfish, but I have no problem knocking down these giants? On the bright side, with my new Fleece of Fervor's Favor, I can heal myself mid-journey. It depletes my ammunition to use projectiles, but it's a lifesaver if my gameplay is ever rusty. Charmander's Anointing marks the halfway point of having my own complete set of apostles, followed by my cult praying so much that all the structures from the Divine Inspiration Tree have been unlocked. No new buildings means I receive God tiers from the devotion of my followers. My encounter with Undead Bishop Calamar was a sign that I was so close to being done with Anchor Deep, but oh, I was so far from it. I'll get your ear when I attempt the hitless run. By the way, I resurrected Lopunny because there's no better choice than my first love to become an apostle. I'm sure there will be no drama.
Michael, that's nepotism. Luke is getting special treatment because he's your nephew.
Yes, exactly. That is a very nice way of putting it, Oscar.
Before moving on to Silk Cradle, I needed to defeat Calamar without taking damage. So I put back on the Berserker garb and I lost. I died so freaking much. I'm pretty sure over half of my deaths came from losing to Calamar alone. The field gets chaotic with spiders and bullets that I get so desperate to finish him off ASAP. This recklessness led to my demise, and sometimes I died to the stupid spike hazard just sitting there. I had wasted enough time. I'm sick and tired of losing, and I want to win. So be patient, Andrew. My attacks deal quite the blows, but what really turned the tables was when I realized that when Calamar lowered the orb, that the bullets were about to spurt all over the place. So whenever the orb was shown, I kept myself super safe, not risking anything, then went in for the kill once that phase was done. I did it. I finally killed him without a scratch on me. Definitely not gonna make Calamar a disciple after what he just put me through. How about Leshy? I promote you from Bishop to Apostle. And let's have Mudbraid join while we're at it. Now to fulfill what I sacrificed Larvitar for a long time ago. At least I tried. I got stuck in this room for a hot minute due to another bug that displaced the minion out of bounds. Anyways, as I was saying, I found more lore, then began the parade of mini-bosses once again. The millipede looked overwhelming, but my playstyle countered it pretty well. The Scorpion got nerfed badly by my freezing relics, which made it a walk in the park. Then there was Midas. I've had enough of your crap for the last time. I think I got him. Got a DLC achievement for it too. Back to Shamura's Guardians. I started blasting. Freeing the last bishop from undead bondage was a cinch. It's the next attempt I'm worried about. And Shamura wasn't the biggest fan of being forced to join my cult. If you're gonna be like that, I guess I'll make Shellos my next apostle. All right, Giratina, I've revived all 4 bishops. What's my reward? The one who waits is still alive? Oh, I'm gonna work you so hard you'll wish you were still dead. Giratina states that I have earned the position to be called the God of Death and gives me a fleece to go with it. We exchange goods, then I head back into Silk Cradle to retrieve Shamura's skull and to face their copy once again. And I'm proud to say it was not disastrous at all like Calamar was. Seriously, this guy should have been the 3rd boss. There's 4 stationary hazards in the corners and they mostly use melee attacks. So I just attacked and rolled myself to victory. All that leaves for the main game are the follower forms, tarot cards, and fleeces. I've already done some Relics of the Faith DLC, so I'm gonna continue with the Sins of the Flesh update by constructing a tailor, pitching a love-making tent, and discovering more lore, all while finishing up the main game's quests. Every time I used the confession booth up to this point was to increase loyalty, but it also has a feature to collect sin. In fact, we've been acting all too goody two-shoes righteous for too long. The drink house is open, everybody. Quench your thirst. Yes, yes. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Oh, come on, Charmander. Not on the floor. I just want to absolve the sin from you without a mess. Is that too much to ask? For each transgression I harvest, I can invite 2 lustful members to camp out. Leshy and Frokies have the honors of going first. Okay. TMI, get a room. And would you look at that? They found an egg in the tent.
How'd that get in there?
Hey! Charmander and Butterfree, I know you 2 are still drunk, but that doesn't mean you're allowed to fight. Let's watch me play the drums instead. 7 seconds later nets me a full bar of sin. I can only play once a day though. Waylord and Shellos made a golden egg. But how did these 2, never mind. I actually couldn't leave the vicinity anytime soon because I served up more drinks causing catfights to occur non-stop. On the bright side, I get to see Leshy and Froki's egg hatch.
Oh my goodness!
That is an abomination. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. To experience all that Sins of the Flesh has to offer, I summon Waylord as tribute in a ritual to take upon all the sin from every single cult member to himself. What could go wrong?
What have you done to me? The sin is consuming my soul. How could you?
Whoops. I think I accidentally damned him to hell.
My bad.
Just a fun, normal crusade, huh?
The suffering you have caused me, it is unbearable. You did this to me.
Whoa, calm down, buddy. Accidents happen. Don't forget I'm the one holding the gun. Again? Okay, I'm gonna have to kill you for real this time. Oh, I forgot to completely cleanse you from sin. Once again, my bad. Good to have you back. During that same crusade, Helop thanked me for being an outstanding customer and gave me the final tarot card I've been looking for. Also, Waylord made it back to the cult just in time to see the birth of his first child. Wait a minute, a seal?
Say hi, Daddy. Say hi, Daddy.
Hi, Daddy.
Whose white baby is that? This is your baby, okay? He's just light-skinned.
Sure, Shellos. You guys should follow the example of my marriage. We have an undying loyal...
I think you kids have a lot to catch up on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin. You cheated on me? When I specifically asked you not to?
My heart is broken. The only way to cure my depression is through eating. Oh my goodness, that might have been an overreaction. Got a sin out of it though. Unfortunately for Waylord, his anger damned him again. In all seriousness, I needed 2 more gold eggs to unlock 2 more secret follower forms. The bad news is, the egg being gold is completely up to random chance. This wastes sin and tires my Pokemon. The good news is that I saved Scum. Before I knew it, Butterfree and Charmander had a baby Caterpillar, then Squirtle and Mudbray had a baby Lemur. Another hidden follower form was discovered after finding many of these small statues which opened up the secret rooms that contain the game's lore. Finding all of them got me the snake skin. The only follower forms remaining were still being held by Giratina, who no longer gives away talisman shards ever since I collected all of the fleeces. Now back to the children. Their youth make for perfect candidates to be sacrificed while wearing the light necklace given to me by Giratina, which replaces the youngling with Bale, one of the 2 servants of the one who waits. While waiting for the ritual to recharge, I decided it would be a good time to finally check out Purgatory. What awaited me was a standard dungeon gauntlet filled with typical baddies and a mini boss at the end. That awarded me with multiple god tiers. There were more challenges to beat, but Purgatory can only be accessed once per day. So let's say bye-bye to that hideous looking youngling wearing a dark necklace to bring back Aim, the brother of Bale. I convert the siblings into demons, that way they can accompany me on my next crusade, so I can reunite them with their mom in the wilderness. Aww. Her tears of joy turn into 2 relics, leaving only 1 left to be found. And to get it, I must harvest 4 more of my Pokemon by first murdering them. Nothing to see here, people. I'm just cleansing our group of the snot-nosed kids and Calamar for being a pain in the butt earlier on. All 37 relics have been collected, but I kinda lost everyone's trust in the process. It's funny how far a bonfire and a little brainwashing can go in changing their minds. All that's left in Relics of the Old Faith is to complete a row in Purgatory. Boss Rush was unlocked after my first go-around. However, I'm sticking with the Dungeon Gauntlet route using my favorite self-healing fleece. This meant I had to redo the first path again, but there's plenty to do in between sessions. Like, remember Sozo? Yeah, he's dead now. I steal his hat, which also happens to be a seed that I plant back home that I grow immediately thanks to the Ritual of the Harvest, which plops out a mini Sozo. Sozo must have more. It's been so long. Sozo missed the taste, the feeling. Sozo will live here and be happy if you just bring more mushrooms. Dude, no. I am not going to let you fall back into your mushroom addiction. Sozo can forgive, but Sozo will not forget. Anywho, Gauntlet number 2. Unlike the first dungeon, had 2 mini bosses, one halfway through and another at the end. Gauntlet number 3 had 2 mini bosses throughout its dungeon with a real bishop boss at the end. In between runs, I felt bad for Sozo having to deal with his addiction on his own, so I found a friend to keep him company. Every addict needs fellowship. Gauntlet number 4 scaled back the mini boss encounters, having only 1 followed by 2 separate real boss battles later. While waiting for the next day, I discovered a meat room that had a unique piece of lore inside an envelope. After that, it was on to Gauntlet number 5, where I lost. Look at my hearts. There's only 2 of them. Granted, I still should have won, but there was a room that took one of my hearts in exchange for a tarot card, and another that did the exact same thing to me. Talk about bad luck. Some good did come after it, though. Giratina gave me the last freaking follower form, finally 100%ing the main game. Then I looked behind this campfire, also completing the lore achievement for Sins of the Flesh. The second DLC also mandates I unlock all the outfits, which for some reason requires a 3rd marriage. I choose Waylord cause... Boom! Wedding dress and wedding suit appear out of nowhere. I then craft 25 outfits to acquire the Jester costume. To relax from all that work, I open a fight club and order 2 nobodies I didn't even bother naming to hash it out. It was lame.
Finish him!
Alright, enough fun and games. It was time for me to prepare for gauntlet number 5 again. I used the Disciple Towers to receive numerous buffs, mainly hoping for additional lives to offset any rooms that would take hearts away, which the first room did right away. What I underestimated though was the power of the strength enhancing buffs from the Disciple Towers. The 1 mini boss and 3 bosses were eliminated so fast that I didn't even need the extra health. Definitely going to have those ready for the 6th and final purgatory visit. In the meantime, I'm going to finish organizing my church government with 12 apostles fittingly upgrading the One Who Waits and the offspring of Charmander and Butterfree to discipleship. The towers are ready and the next day is here, but unfortunately I only received 1 attack buff this time. I still face the last challenge of the row head on, which contains every one of the 4 bishop boss fights and finishes off the run with a rematch versus the One Who Waits and his 2 servants. I didn't spend a lot of time talking about purgatory because I simply didn't really find it that hard at all, with the exception of getting unlucky 1 time. I had plenty of opportunities to self-heal using my chosen fleece, and the final boss, as we've seen before, is kind of a pushover. Beating the 4 bishops without taking damage was definitely my crowning achievement of this playthrough. But hey, 100%ing relics of the old faith is pretty sweet too. And the rest of my journey is going to mostly take place back at home. I've been sending my disciples on missions to retrieve bones since essentially every ritual requires them, and I need to keep repeating rituals to uncover new outfits. How nudity is a costume? I don't know. Also, after visiting Bareth the Worm many times throughout all my past crusades, he hands over the last outfit he has to offer me. The little mushroom had to leave. You ate the mushroom, man? And now you're asking me to find another friend for you? No, enough is enough, Sozo. Okay, I've had enough of this, dude. If you're gonna be mad at me, you're going straight to jail. While the rest of us get to slurp drinks and send the day away. A couple days of re-educating later, Sozo finally calmed down, and then all of a sudden, his mushroom hat fell off. Now he's acting like a different person, not knowing where he is and asking about his family. Apparently, Sozo's real name is Dr. Sozonius, and the last thing he remembers is he was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died. The last listed achievement pertains to upgrading the temple, which funny enough requires sin in order to do so. The additions are purely aesthetic, and my apostles got carried away with such activities that a few of them were even damned. Those that were left I had fight each other to obtain the last outfit needed for its corresponding achievement. In the end, many in-game days passed as I solely focused on farming sins. It did cost the spiritual lives of 5 of my apostles, those being Mudbray, Shellos, Butterfree, the One Who Waits, and Charfree. I don't know, maybe I'll save them when the next update releases. But for now, that's how I 300%ed Cult of the Lamb. If you want to see me make a video on the next DLC, give this one a like to support, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. You all have a good one. Thanks.